Every brand tells a story. And they are the storytellers. The Sutradhars. They present a brand with band, baja and barat to you. They are the Brandwallahs. On this special edition of the Brandwallahs, a true pioneer of the Indian internet and startup ecosystem, a visionary whose understanding of customer insight and brand building transformed an entire industry, Sanjeev Bikhchandani. As the founder and executive vice chairman of InfoEdge, Bhikchandani is the architect behind some of India's most recognized digital brands, including India's largest job portal, Naukri.com, apart from 99acres.com, jeevansathi.com and shiksha.com. An astute early investor in unicorns like Zomato and Policy Bazaar, his journey from a humble startup, initially run from a servant's quarter, to a massive public enterprise is a masterclass in market creation and scaling. His approach to success has fundamentally challenged traditional marketing wisdom. He is our Brandwallah. You're watching the Brandwallahs. I am Krishnakumar and we are in conversation with a legendary investor on this edition of the Brandwallahs. We have none other than Mr. Sanjeev Bikhchandani. Sanjeev, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here.
Thank you for calling
on the Brandwallahs. It's a different kind of a show. It's a different kind of a conversation. I want to begin by asking you, what was it like taking a startup consumer brand and marketing it, while you were, trying to find the right reasons to fund it or add funding to it or not? How did you go about when it comes to your marketing strategy per se?
Yeah, so first of all, we are recording this maybe 4 or 5 days after the passing away of Mr. Piyush Pandey. So I think it's important to acknowledge his contribution to the world of branding and marketing in India. And the kind of path-breaking stuff that he did, how he moved communication, mass media communication about brands from English to vernacular, Hindi, other languages. It was path-breaking. How he mastered the idiom and how he produced some great campaigns. Of course, he had a team, I'm sure, but still,
yeah,
sure. He was a master. He was a master craftsman. Right? Now, I go back to the start of my career in 1984. My first job was at Lintas in advertising. And that is really where I learned about the nuts and bolts of brand communication, advertising, mass media, marketing. Right? And I think those 3 years were formative for me, where a lot of my early concepts around branding were established. My thoughts evolved over the next couple of decades. I worked in consumer marketing in H&M, where I was managing the brand Horlicks, which the company subsequently began to be called GlaxoSmithKline. So that is where I really got my grounding in branding. Subsequently, I taught marketing at several management schools as a visiting faculty. Notably IMT Ghaziabad, a few guest lectures at IIM Ahmedabad. So that's where one really thought deeply, about branding. But over the years, I've come to believe that, people think advertising builds brands. Advertising is a small part of that jigsaw puzzle. Really, brands are built on customer experience and word of mouth. Right? Now, I do not recall ever seeing a Google ad. Google never had to advertise itself. It was simply a superior product. You used it, you experienced it, you knew it was superior. Brand got built. Right?
So you're saying it's all about the product. Marketing cannot...
No, it's not all about the product. I'm saying a brand is built by managing multiple touch points with the consumer. Product experience is the first one. And yes, mass media communication follows. But increasingly we are seeing, as the world goes digital and on the small screen, mass media may or may not be as relevant as it was in past decades. I watch television on the big screen less and less. I watch on the small screen, including television. Right? And I saw the IPL lately, and not because I watch the IPL. I'm not a great IPL watcher, but walking in.
You're more of a Test cricket fan?
Yes. But walking in and out of the room, my kids are there. They're watching IPL. I sat down sometimes, and I saw some of the ads on IPL, and I could not believe how the quality had plummeted over the decades. Storytelling is over on TV, simply because the channels are so expensive that you cannot run an ad more than 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, there's only so much of a story you can tell. On the other hand, on digital, you can tell a story much better. So the craft of storytelling has migrated from television to digital. And digital means small screen. So obviously creative has to adjust. Okay, copywriters have to adjust, filmmakers have to adjust. So things are changing, but ultimately advertising is not a brand builder. It is an accelerator. Advertising will make a good product succeed faster. It will make a bad product fail faster.
Tell us, how did the transition happen, say, at Naukri? In the first 5 years, what do you think some of the smartest decisions you made when it comes to marketing? How did you move from word of mouth and print ads to digital?
So I'll tell you. We launched Naukri in 1997. We were broke, we had no money. So there was no question of spending money on mass media advertising. We didn't have the money. Right? We relied purely on word of mouth, user experience product. But because we were early and we were the only job site, there wasn't any competition. And therefore, and the product actually worked because our promise was simple and our promise was good. Promise was, if a job has appeared in print anywhere in the country, in the last 1 month, you'll find it here. Which basically means that if you were in Delhi and the ad appeared in TOI Bombay, you could see it on Naukri. If you're in Delhi today, but the ad appeared 15 days ago, you can see it on Naukri. You don't miss it. And that generated traffic because that promise, the hook was good. The product is a hook, that's where it starts from. Once traffic began to come, and we got some revenue coming in, we still couldn't advertise. Right? So what we began to do was barter deals with print publications. So those print publications that were not getting appointment ads, and there are many of them, we went to them and said, look, we will give you content, take ads, take job listings from us, print them, around that build a nucleus of readership where you can get paid ads. In the process, we got some branding. So we did enough barter deals. And finally, we raised venture capital, then we broke even. When we broke even, we could do mass media advertising. And you may remember the Hari Sadhu TV commercial.
Yeah, who doesn't?
And that happened around 2003 or 2004.
Much later.
Much later, 6 years after we launched. Okay, so we were able to afford that advertising only after we were larger and profitable.
So, in that sense, if I were to ask you, if a consumer startup, in the first 100 days of a consumer startup, what would be your advice in terms of how they should go about doing their marketing? How much money should they spend? How much money should they spend before they raise a Series A?
Well, they should spend, but they can't spend more than they have, right? So if you've not done your Series A, you probably don't have too much money.
Yeah.
Okay, which means get your product right, get some consumers to use it, get some repeats, get some satisfaction, get some word of mouth going. Try and use low-cost social media marketing. Try and do social media marketing yourself. Try and get some low-cost influencers. Try and do barter deals with influencers. You got to do guerrilla marketing initially. You don't have money, and really, it's that phase that teaches you the most about marketing. When you try and market with no money, that's when you learn the most marketing.
Great. Then what happens? Say there's a startup which has raised Series A. How should that progression be in terms of scaling up marketing? What percentage of your spends should go into marketing?
Well, it depends on what the market situation is. You have competition. What is competition spending? How much can you afford to spend? What is the ROI you will get on it? Will you get your next round or not? What's the visibility there? So I would say young companies should use marketing money judiciously. Don't overspend, because marketing money, once it goes out, doesn't come back. And typically marketing money does not result in as much sales in year one so as to recover it immediately. Brand building is an investment for the longer term. Overinvest and you're dead. Underinvest and you're dead.
Can you give us some examples of, say, frugal marketing that you did, in the first days of Zomato? How did in a particular instance of how things turned around?
So in Zomato also the product had pull. There was a hook. It had all the menu cards, and that was drawing traffic. It was the only restaurant site with all the menu cards. Typically good products that have a hook are built on deep customer insight. The customer insight for Naukri was that jobs are a traffic magnet. So if you get all the jobs, traffic will come. You don't need to advertise. Likewise, Zomato, the insight was if you have all the menu cards, traffic will come. Especially if you're the only one with all the menu cards. Policy Bazaar, if you have a comparison engine which actually shows consumers a cheaper insurance policy, right, for the same features, traffic will come. Especially if you're the only one. So I think first mover is important. I think relevance to the consumer is important. I think hitting a hot button is important. Customer insight is important. You do all that, you get traffic, you get pull without advertising. Then you advertise to build on that. But so are you a pull product or a push product? If you're a push product, you're dead. You can spend a lot of money on advertising, but each time you're pushing.
So then what do you do if you're a push product?
You shouldn't be a push product, first of all. Your product is wrong, right? You should be a pull product.
Okay.
The moment you're a pull product, then you advertise to build momentum.
If I were to ask you, your all-time favorite ad campaign or advertisement or a brand campaign, something that really stayed with you and continues to inspire you even today?
I think, look, there are many campaigns, that I've seen in my life starting from '84 because I've worked in advertising and marketing. But if you look at, stuff that, still makes me want to watch it today, there are very few. So one is the Fevicol campaign of O&M. I think I really like that. And it still makes me smile today. Okay. Second is, of course, Hari Sadhu, our own. Right. Now, strategically, a campaign that really worked was the Lalitaji campaign of Surf. Back in the '80s, '84, from Lintas. There were several others. But a durable campaign that still makes you smile 20, 30 years later, there are very few.
Okay. And nothing in the recent past, nothing in the last 10 years. So much has happened in the last 10 years too,
Well, so there was a film, a tearjerker from Policy Bazaar, about this differently abled young man whose elder brother got him a loan from Paisa Bazaar, and with which he bought a camera and then became a photographer. And there's this birthday party going on and he's using sign language to talk. It was I think, 2 or 3 minute film on digital. It was really good, I think. There are a couple of very good ones on Zomato.
Okay, which ones?
Zomato did something very interesting. It was a breakthrough. What they did was they ran contests for their users, because now everybody has a mobile phone. All mobile phones have got video cameras. They said, make an ad film for Zomato and send it to us, and the ones you select, we will pay you X amount of money, and then we will remake them using a professional producer. So there were literally hundreds of films that came into Zomato, and they selected 2 or 3 and they ran them. And I thought that was a crowdsourced ad campaign, a TV campaign. I thought was truly unique. You're harnessing the imagination and creativity of all your users. You're not relying on these hotshot creative directors and these ad film producers. So you're breaking down the barrier, and I think that was truly revolutionary.
The word that gets tossed around the most is authenticity and purpose-driven marketing.
Yeah, purpose I think is I mean, ab zyada ho gaya. This is the one thing. It's been overhyped.
Okay, I was about to ask. Authenticity is tossed around because authenticity gets
you're telling the truth. It's okay. But purpose, my job is to help people find jobs, right? Now, my purpose is to solve India's employment problem, unemployment. I don't know if we can be that big, right? But can we help people find jobs? Can we help companies find people? Answer is yes. And we've been doing it for the last 28 years.
What, according to you, is the big buzz as far as the world of branding, marketing, advertising
I think the old agency model, the business model, is under threat. It's under existential crisis, right? Largely because a viewership has shifted rapidly from big screen to small screen, from TV to digital, right? And what it means is that data plays a huge role. What it means is performance marketing is becoming much more important than brand building. And that is a shift. I don't think agencies are going to be able to afford large workforces in a glass and steel office out of BKC. You see, as long as digital was important for small companies, nobody noticed. But now with large companies and brands shifting budgets to digital, I think it's having an impact on large agency, both top line and bottom line. I think they have to adapt and learn new skills. I'm not sure they're doing it fast enough. I think they are under threat from entrepreneurial startups who are in the digital space. So the big story, according to me, is how this pans out over the next 5 years. And I'm not sure enough ad agency professionals are seeing the writing on the wall, or if they are, they're not talking about it.
Then what, according to you, is overhyped in the world of branding, marketing, advertising, and hence, according to you, is blah actually?
So when I see undifferentiated products being launched and trying to get ahead on on push, on spending money because you are able to raise it, on VCs funding the next Me Too product, I think that is a trap. You've got to fund innovative, differentiated products that are relevant to consumers, because that's when you have a chance of success. Or you've got to have so much money that you can blast the opposition out of the water and then just buy market share and then stay there. But then again, that's a very expensive and dangerous game to play, because there may be 10 guys trying with deep pockets and only one will succeed.
What is the one thing about your job that you love the most?
I love meeting young startups doing innovative things. Young founders, they have imagination, they're full of energy, they're full of optimism. So I love that.
Okay, and which means that on a every single day basis, when you wake up, you just want to meet a new startup with a new idea that you're happy to fund.
It takes more than that. See, we meet about 1,000. We look at about 1,000 startups a quarter.
Okay.
And we fund about 4 or 5, or maybe 6. So you got to really be careful. And we sometimes wrong. We fund the wrong ones, or we say no to the right ones. But as long as some of the ones we say yes to are good, we are okay.
But isn't it exhausting if you're meeting 1,000 of them in a quarter?
Yeah, but
doesn't it get to you?
That's not me alone. It's a team of 15 to 20 people.
Fair enough.
So I end up meeting maybe about 1 or 2 a day.
One or two a day?
They've been filtered by the team.
Oh, okay. So the 1 or 2 a day, those are the meetings that you look forward to on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Then, what is the one thing about your job that you do not like at all? The one thing that you don't look forward to? One thing that you detest?
My mobile number has gone public on Google. So if you do a search on my mobile number, you find it. Then, now I can't change my number because it's in too many places where there's statutory compliance. And I get those SMSs, right? On behalf of the company. And so I can't change my number. I'm stuck. And so I get a whole bunch of spam, which I hate.
Last thoughts. Tell us, where do you see marketing headed in the near future, in the next 5 years?
Well, obviously there's volatility. I see change. I see your traditional mass media finding it harder and harder to get a lot of advertising. I see digital increasing its share of the ad dollar, increasing its share of viewership, engagement. I see more and more technology and data being used for targeting, for achieving outcomes, for measurement. I see, I joined advertising in '84. We used to have Bloody Mary lunches on weekdays. I see that lifestyle is totally out. Okay, and it went down maybe 2 decades ago. Okay, so you must have seen the serial Mad Men.
Of course, who hasn't?
Yeah. So that is what advertising used to be in the 60s and the 70s, right? Now it's totally different. It's more technology than creativity.
Yeah, it is technology, but I'm saying but everything else remains the same. Storytelling remains the same. Deadlines remain the same.
So creative people have to figure out how to tell a better story or a safe story in a better manner using technology to the right customer at the right time in the right manner. But you have to learn to use technology to do that. So for example, I'll give you another example. Jeevan Sathi, one of our businesses. So somebody who had a bright idea that why can't we do a film for the digital channels for Father's Day? So father-daughter, right? A 1.5 minute film was created by our in-house team. They are not creative people. They are marketing people. They're MBAs, right? Using AI, only AI, right?
How long ago was this?
About a month ago, 2 months ago. Well, last Father's Day, whenever it was, maybe a few months ago, right? Now, this film would never have been made by briefing an agency, simply because it would have taken 6 weeks to make it and 60 lakhs to make it. These guys did it in 80,000 rupees. And they released it. And it worked wonders. So AI is helping you do creative stuff which would not have been done otherwise, simply because it'd be unaffordable. It'd be too much of a project. Chhod do yaar. So now with regular folk using AI to do creatives, I think you're going to find creatives being democratized.
Isn't it already democratized in that sense?
Much more than you think.
Will it make the professionals irrelevant eventually?
No, they will have to find a niche. They'll have to find how to add value. So our own guys said, if we had a good creative person sitting with us while you're doing this, the film would have been much better. But the creative people have to learn to use these tools. But then you can't charge 60 lakhs for this film, because we won't do it. And you can't take 6 weeks to do it. You got to do it in 2 days, and you can charge maybe 4-5 lakhs.
Can I ask you this? What is your favorite AI tools that you use on a regular basis?
I don't use a lot, but
the ones that you come into contact with.
ChatGPT, Claude, a few others, but there are 50 or 60 tools, and our teams are using several of them, depending on the nature of the work.
Your advice to startups, what are the kind of marketing AI tools that they should be using for marketing? What are the kind of metrics that they should be looking at for all the startups who are building at different early stages?
So my first submission is do it yourself. Okay? Once you do it yourself, then maybe you can seek assistance from outside.
That's fine, but what AI tools do you think that they should be using? What metrics do you think they should be looking at?
There's a suite of 50 or 60 AI tools, right? For different purposes. Okay, so for example, we have produced a manual in-house on tips for startups, on the dharma of entrepreneurship, we call it, in our own document.
Okay.
And that has been sourced from all the in-house material we have, all the videos we have of our in-house stuff, all the podcasts I've done, and we distilled that, and that is done using AI. The first draft using AI. Okay. So I recently co-authored an article, a long article, 5,000-word article, for a book that's been published on the startup journey of India in the last 35 years, right? From 1990, since the time I became an entrepreneur. And that was entirely sourced by looking at all the past podcasts I've done, running it through an AI platform, converting it to text, summarizing it, and then editing it.
Wow.
So for different use cases, there are different tools.
For different use cases, there are different tools. So, okay, fair enough. We will leave it at that. Sanjeev, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here
Thank
on
you.
the Brandwallahs.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.